Welcome back to NTheRealestWay Podcast by Marqes Smith, where we talk about so many topics in the realest way, from healing and growing to evolving, and sometimes the hard conversations that we need to have with ourselves and other people. This is my 5th episode. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I'm happy to be here. Right now, I'm looking at my time and it's 17:17. So, what more could I ask for? Literally, it was so unintentional. I just look up at my phone and I see 17:17. So I'm just grateful to be here. I'm happy to be here. So to start the episode off, I want to talk about the title and how much it means to me. You can go without me. I find that so empowering, so meaningful to myself, because there were so many times where I felt impelled and I feel like I was obligated to go where other people wanted me to go with them. And to start this off, you don't have to. You don't have to go. If where they're going right now is not where you want to go, you don't have to go. It's that simple. How you feel, if you're comfortable, if it brings you peace, it makes you happy, those are the places that you should be drawn to. I just want to start that blatantly clear on this podcast episode. That simple. So let's really get in depth and let's really go deep on this podcast episode. The first thing I want to talk about is not for me and seeing my worth. So you can go without me. It's not for me. What you're doing, going to the club every weekend, it's not for me. You can go without me. And that's not to say that those people shouldn't be in your life, but it's as simple as it states. I can be your friend. We can still be cool. I can go to the club, whenever I decide to go, the healthy amount that I think that is for me. And any other time where every weekend is too much for me, you can go without me. I don't have to go where you want me to go. I go where I'm capable, where I'm happy at, where I'm at peace at, and not seeing my worth. You can go without me. I'm not finna go somewhere where I'm not felt of worth. I want to go somewhere where I matter. I shouldn't have to be around people where I have to prove myself to. You shouldn't have to prove yourself to people in that way as a person. As a human being, you should not have to prove yourself. You can go without me. I'm not interested anymore in being places where I have to change myself to a point where I'm at war with myself. You over here happy with who I am because it's who you want me to be, because it's a benefit to you. But inside right now, I'm getting pulled in every which way of direction, because 9 times out of 10, if I'm trying to be who you want me to be, I'm pretty sure there's other people who are doing the same thing for me at the same time. So now there's this mix of confusion of where you are and where everybody else is at, and you don't know where to go. So you can go without me. I'm not going there. I'm not. And that's in regards to places too. Unhealthy, toxic environments. I'm not going there. I'm not going somewhere where, for instance, I knew somebody in high school. We were good friends. And I promise you, we would sit at lunch and the main topic of discussion from them was just unhealthy things. Why is this going on? Like, it was nothing. It's not to say those people couldn't talk about the important topics that were sometimes uncomfortable. That wasn't the point. The point was that they kept on talking about, it was nothing positive. It was nothing about healing or growing. It was like, okay, this is the type of person I am. So if you come to me with a situation and you're like, this is what's going on, this is what happened, and you keep going on about it, it's like, okay, what's the solution? And you may not know a solution, but like, I'm not in the interest of feeding you negativity. I want to help you. I want to grow. But if that's all I'm surrounded by, you can go without me. I promise you, after I got sick of that, I never sat with those people again at lunch. I didn't, and I couldn't, and I won't. I won't do it. You can go without me. I don't want that mindset. Everything you see is negative. Yeah, this is going on. But what about the goodness? Yeah, we at school right now. Yeah, there could be things that we could be doing right now that's more meaningful to us. Yes, but this is where we are right now. And there's nothing we can do to change that. So let's not try to find negativity in everything we see. You can go without me. I started being around people who were happy to be there. Well, who wanted to learn or do something meaningful. Do something meaningful. You can go without me. I'm not going anywhere, any place to where I'm feeling that kind of way. I don't want to feel not at peace. I want to feel at peace. What I learned is you should be contributing, and that's regard to a place, people, emotions, and anything. It needs to be, you need to be adding to my life, not taking away. I already have a sense of comfort, of peace, of healthiness, of positivity in my life. So if anything, you need to be contributing to, not taking away. That's not how this works. In the whole debate about people and not using anybody in your life is crazy. Yes, the definition of using people is more defined in a negative way. But whether you want to admit it or not, we all use people. We all use people. We just use them and I use them in a positive way. I don't want anybody in my life to where we're not elevating ourselves and we're not pushing each other to grow. You can go without me. I don't want to go around those people who are taking away from me instead of building me up. It defeats the whole purpose of healing and growing if there's people beside you and around you who are taking the blocks that you have put down before that. And that's about people. Like the next topic was about people, unhealthy people draining you, not having the same mindset. And I don't mean in the sense of, I want to, be so committed to this one thing, for instance, the army or the band. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your mindset. And like I said in the other podcast about how people, when they wake up, they don't have any purpose in life, no intention. Like, how are you getting up around those kind of people? That's what I'm talking about. I want to be around people who they get up, they're ready, they're motivated, they make their beds in the morning. Like intentional people. I'm not interested in being around people who don't care about living, growing, and becoming better people. They're just here just to kick it for a ride and just take from people, not to give. Maya Angelou said, "It is a beautiful thing to give of yourself, to love." And that's what I strive to do every single day, to give, to love. And I don't make it every time, but I try to. And that's what matters. So you can go without me. If that's not what you're trying to do, you can go without me. You can go. I'm not eager to be in those places or with those people. I'm not eager to be there. I don't want to be there. You can go without me. You can go. I'm okay with that. I'm going to stay where I am. I am happy. I am at peace where I am. So why would I go somewhere where that destroys everything that I've created for myself? Be around those kind of people. You need to. We all need to be around those kind of people who are contributing to your life, who are making your life better. There has been so many times where I went somewhere. Where I did not want to go. I did something I did not want to do because I wanted the approval of other people. I wanted their satisfaction of, oh my goodness, Marquise actually, I'm like, when you do something for somebody in regards to how it benefits them, of course they're going to say, oh yeah, this person. I remember this thing, and I don't want to get all anime on nobody, but I am an anime fanatic to a certain extent, healthy, of course. And there was this scene with Armin Arlet talking to Annie Lanehart, and he was like, she was talking about how, would I not be a good person, or would I be a good person to you? He said, it depends on who you ask, because everybody has a different opinion about you as a good person or good people in general, because we all want something from people in a different way. We're not all going to want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you being a good person and you holding the door for me does not, some people wouldn't define that as a good person. It's just a person who did something, in terms of other people, that's respectful. And that's, that's a sign of a good person doing that, and that's just an example. It's so many more, but it's just the point to say that you being a good person is in definition of who you are around and who you're around and who you surround yourself with. There were so many times when I was around people and they genuinely did not understand, and they didn't know that they were in, to put it in a metaphor, in a trash dumpster. That's simple. They were around shit. They just couldn't, excuse my language, but they couldn't smell it. They were around rotten people, rotten environments, unhealthy things. That's what they were around. So I'm sitting here telling you that everything ain't, of course, black and white. There's some times when you don't even understand that you could be in those positions, but to become self-aware. And that's why it's so important to talk to yourself, understand yourself, your values in life, what you do, and what's your reason for getting up. Mine is God, my family, my friends, my purpose that God has given me. All those things that get me up. You have to find that. You have to. You can go without me. If it's not the same mindset, if we're not elevating, we're not growing, you can go without me. And of course, it's going to be different for other people. It's going to be different. Sometimes they don't take that. That's why it's a beautiful thing that us as people, we're diverse. Because everybody is not going to go where I want them to go. And that goes back to my other podcast about meeting people where they are. Yeah, I can go without you, but maybe where I'm going, you don't need to go. And that's fine. It's a balance. And it's about having a healthy relationship with yourself and other people. And I want you to understand that just because you don't like somebody does not mean that the relationship has to be unhealthy. You can still have a healthy relationship of not being in each other's life. And there are so many times where I went places mentally because somebody brought me there. If somebody can control your emotions, that is a powerful person. Don't let anybody have control over your emotions, especially anger and sadness. You telling me when you wake up, have the influence of telling me my entire, literally picking and deciding how I feel throughout that entire day or that week. Because of what you decided to do. That is crazy to me. So yes, I have become more self-aware about it, but I am still fighting that to this day. There have been so many times where I snapped at people and acted out of my character. So there's times when I say, yeah, you can go without me, but then I'm like, oh, I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? Because you brought me here. They didn't bring you here. You got there because you decided to be there. You decided to cuss those people out when you could have just walked away. And if you can't walk away, there's always something else that you can do. People always say there's nothing that you can do. But I really believe that there's always something that you can do. It may not be the solution that you want best, but it's a solution. It's something that's better than what it was before. You didn't have anything. Now you have something. So yes, it's in terms of people and places of not going where they are and all that, but it's also in terms of people trying to bring you to where they are, meeting them where they are. You don't have to. You don't have to. This is your life. And the sooner me and everybody else, we realize that we decide who we want in our life, the happier we'll be. The more we can set boundaries, the more we can be, happier people. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all want, to be happier people. to be at peace. I realized that when I was, going through life, that yes, I love a challenge. I love all this stuff. But the main thing I want is to be at peace with God, with myself, with everybody I care about around me. That's what I want. So you can go without me, because I know that me leaving this situation is going to get me closer to where I actually am. And that's another topic of I'm not eager to be in a relationship. You can go without me. If you're not respecting my non-negotiables, you can go without me. I'm okay with that. Oh, you don't believe that, in keeping your monogamous commitment? I'm not talking about people who are never, polyamorous or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when we came into a relationship and we agreed that it was monogamous, and you decide to change that. You can go without me. I don't want to be in that kind of situation. You can go without me. You can go without me. So have respect for yourself too, and boundaries, healthy boundaries, because it makes it so much easier. And I say so much easier like it's easier, but it is hard. I find myself, sometimes struggling to, and this is one thing I learned about social media. Like, there's so many things like, oh yeah, social media is so toxic and negative and, so unhealthy, and that's the truth, but it's also done good too. So it's important to highlight the bad things, but it's also important to talk about the good ones too. Because how does anything become something meaningful if there's not something to build upon? If everything bad is if everything about something is bad, it will crumble. If everything about something is good, it becomes something that is untouchable or something that's like unrealistic. A balance of both will suffice. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to live this life if it was strictly failures. What the world would that be? Or I don't want to live life where it's strictly success. Success. You don't fail at anything. I want a equal meeting of both. Yes, I want to fail, but I want to learn from my mistake and I want to get better. So those kinds of things, you can go without me. I'm not interested. If you're not respecting my non-negotiables, you can go without me. Go with somebody who doesn't care. Because there's somebody out there. There is so many people on this earth. I sometimes shock myself when I forget that. So focused on this one person, this one thing, that you forget that there's so many more beautiful opportunities, people out there in this world. You can go without me. There's something better for me in the future. God don't want me right now to be right here with you. That's okay. And God could be saying the same for me, about me, to other people. I'm okay with that. And in terms of, if you don't stop, God will. Every single podcast, I promise you, it's built upon by intention. I'm not just throwing this together. This is something I take pride in because it's something that God has brought into my life. There has been so many times when these certain episodes that I'll be talking about on my podcast has been a part of my life. That's why I'm so invested and I'm so full of, emotion when I'm speaking about them, because I relate to it so much. And to be upfront with you, there were times recently where I was places where I didn't want to be. It wasn't that I was around per se toxic people. That wasn't the issue. But the mere fact of, I'm a type of person who, like many other people, we need those days of rest. We need those days of getting our minds together, because if your mind falls apart, your body will. There has been so many times where I thought I was tired and I kept going, and my body just it defeated it proved to me what I thought I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know that I could do that because my mind was limiting me. My mind was limiting me. So I'm very intentional with my days of rest. I don't mean sleeping. Yes, you're resting physically, maybe mentally by sleeping, but I'm gonna talk about those days where you prepare yourself for work or whatever you have going on. So you can go without me. And if that makes me a type of person who doesn't want to go somewhere, then I'll be that type of person. We sometimes forget why we're so, like, why are you so angry when you come to work? Because you didn't mentally prepare yourself. You just went up there and just went up there. You just got out the bed and, just put all your clothes on. You didn't prepare yourself. You didn't tell your body, hey, get ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what's coming up. It's important because if your mind falls, your body will too soon after, I promise you. I promise you it will. So you can go without me. If me wanting to be mentally okay, at peace, is an issue to you, you can go without me. I'm not eager to be in those places. Well, this is the end of this podcast episode. I want to talk about the importance of my journey in this podcast in the realest way, because when I first started, I was, I was doing my thing. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm very proud of myself, but it's important. It wasn't as concise as it is right now. It wasn't as clear, and I'm happy and I'm proud of myself for where I am and where I was. I'm so happy. I'm thankful because I've taken what I've learned and I've become a better person, a better speaker. I articulate myself a little bit better, and it's going to keep going up from here. Only up from here. Also, I don't know if I said this in my other podcast episodes, but there will definitely be a time when this podcast will broaden. There will be visuals. There will be so many more things to come. This is not just one thing. Just like me, just like everything around me that is constantly changing and growing, so will my podcast. So will my podcast. So like I said, in every podcast that I will do, I give thanks to the utmost, the highest power, God, for making any of this possible. I want to thank my friends, my family, for pushing me to become better people, and I will continue to do the same. And just to say that I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. So, this is NTheRealestWay Podcast. Out.